Hey everyone, so this is the fourth and final part of external hip rotation for leg behind the head, in particular focus on Supta Kurmasana. So Kurmasana is kind of a straddle forward fold, and the arms go under the leg and then straight, and maybe you lift the legs off the ground by flexing the knees. So you could just get into it like that. In the Ashtanga sequence, you jump into it into kind of a Titibhasana, straighten the legs and then lower down. The arms could go out wide, or if you're in a crowded room, they go behind you. And straight from here is where you go into Supta Kurmasana, which is two legs behind the head. If you're in a lead class, don't bother, unless you're super quick with it, don't bother sitting up, getting the legs behind the head and folding. You just go straight from Kurmasana, you kind of come up a little bit, walk your feet in, and then take the arms around. And you're looking for a bind. You're looking to catch your fingertips behind your back. For a year, I just used a strap, which could just be like a t-shirt or something. So I'm grabbing with a t-shirt, or if you can catch your hands. Now from here, you could work like from the drill from the previous video, eversion, dorsiflexion, and folding here. And that's fine. That's probably actually safer for your hips than anything else. The other option is, once you get the bind, or you're grabbing the strap, you don't grab the strap after, but once you have the strap or the bind, whatever your bind is, then you can walk one foot over and bury the head. Traditionally, the right foot goes on top, but I highly recommend doing both, or at least alternating your days, which leg goes behind first. Something else you can do, if you're in your personal practice, then you can take longer. You can take 20 breaths if you want. This is where I would grab the block. If you had 2 blocks, you could make it higher, or you could even sit on the block and have this block here. And this comes from David Kyle, because now I have more space for my head to go through. So once I'm through, I catch my bind, and I take a foot over top. Then I can get my head under, and now I can experience more of what it's like with the legs behind the head. Also, traditionally, you would come up with the legs behind the head still hooked, and then you do your arm balance. Although, a lot of times I'll just break, kind of go back to my lazy Titibhasana, and then you come around to crow, and then vinyasa. So those are the main points. So when you're coming in, you jump into Kurmasana, or if you're just practicing this move freelance. So I prepare myself for Supta Kurmasana. I can do anything that I did from the previous videos, and maybe I'm just folding here. If I have my hands in front, I want to push through the hands to ground my hips. Pushing forward creates grounding in the hips. And I could have the block here. I could have the block on top, make it more of a yin pose. I could use the block for teres minor engagement, which helps elongate the spine. Keep the spine in, or the pelvis in neutral position as long as possible. There was one other thing I was going to go over. So, yeah, if the legs are behind the head, their goal is to have the feet pointed, but a lot of times, like, I'll be, 2 legs behind the head isn't super easy for me. So a lot of times I'm hooking with the feet, and yeah, that's probably the whole thing. So really quick, I'll just show the full move. So this would come after Baddha Konasana, or Upavishta Konasana. No, I'm sorry, this would come after Garbha Pindasana. I'm wrong again. After Bhujapadasana. After Bhujapadasana in the primary series. You can also, in the second series, there's Dvipada Sirsasana, which this can be a substitute for. One, two, three, four, 5. One, two, three, four, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Or if you wanted to attempt 2 legs. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Namaste.